Have you ever wondered why certain places feel strangely familiar, even if you have never stepped foot in them before? Why some people seem to enter your life and instantly feel as though you have known them across ages? Why some fears, desires, or talents appear in your life without explanation, as if they did not begin here, but were carried into this life from somewhere else? Most of society treats life as a single event, one birth, one story, one ending. But what if that is nothing more than a convenient illusion? What if your soul is far older than your memory suggests? What if your life is not the beginning of your journey, but merely a continuation? Across ancient civilizations, from Egypt to India, from the Pythagoreans in Greece to the Mayans, there was a shared belief: the soul does not begin at birth, nor does it end at death. Consciousness travels, evolves, and incarnates. The physical body may be new, but the essence within it is ancient. And sometimes it remembers. This is not fantasy. This is not superstition. This is one of the deepest spiritual realities hidden from those who are afraid of their own power. If you have ever felt a mysterious pull toward a time, culture, person, or destiny that makes no logical sense, this message is for you. Because today, we will uncover 5 mystical signs that your soul is remembering a past life, and why these memories are awakening within you now. The human mind has been conditioned to believe in beginnings and endings, in birth followed by death, in linear order. We are taught to see life as something mechanical, an event that starts with a first breath and finishes with a final heartbeat. But anyone who has ever felt a strange inner depth knows that this explanation is painfully shallow. Something inside us rejects the idea that consciousness simply dissolves when the body dies. Something within us knows that existence is not limited to a single story. To understand past life memory, we must confront one of the most difficult truths about reality. Time is not what it appears to be. The physical world functions in time, the body ages in time, but consciousness exists beyond it. The past does not disappear, the future does not yet exist, and the present is not what we think it is. It is merely the point of awareness from which we experience existence. The soul is not bound to this timeline. It moves through dimensions of experience just as a traveler moves through landscapes. Reincarnation is not a belief. It is not even a spiritual theory. It is a process of cosmic evolution, a system through which consciousness expands, learns, and returns to its true nature. The soul takes on different lives the way a person might wear different garments, each one suited to a specific purpose, each one designed to teach something essential. Life is not random. The soul selects its challenges, its lessons, its gifts, and even its wounds. Everything is chosen, not by the logical mind, but by a deeper intelligence inside you that remembers far more than your human memory can hold. Between lifetimes, the soul enters a state of pure awareness. Some call it the astral plane, others call it the realm of spirits. Ancient mystics called it the place of truth. In this state, beyond space and time, the soul reviews everything it has experienced. Not in judgment, not in punishment, but in understanding. It sees patterns, it sees the consequences of its choices. It understands the ways it has evolved and the ways it has not. And from that place, new paths are chosen. New agreements are made. These sacred agreements are known as soul contracts, energetic commitments made with other souls for mutual growth. But here is where the journey becomes mysterious. When a soul enters a new body, it is born into a world of forgetting. The veil of memory is lowered. If you remembered every life you have lived, you would lose focus. You would be overwhelmed by emotional weight and karmic memory. It would be impossible to function in a new life. So most memories remain hidden, yet the truth cannot stay silent forever. Fragments remain buried inside your energy field, inside your subconscious, as if sealed in a vault waiting for the right moment to reawaken. This is why sometimes you feel emotions that have no source in your present life. This is why unexplainable fears emerge. This is why you are drawn to specific ideas, ancient philosophies, or spiritual truths that resonate with mysterious familiarity. You are not simply learning, you are remembering. Memory does not live only in the brain. Memory lives in energy, in vibration, in frequency. The body forgets, the mind forgets, but the soul does not. Wisdom traditions from Egypt, Tibet, India, Sumeria, and the mysteries of Greece knew this. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the soul journeys through multiple lifetimes seeking purification and truth. In Hinduism, the Upanishads teach that the soul reincarnates until it reaches liberation through wisdom. In Buddhism, the wheel of samsara symbolizes endless rebirth guided by karma. Pythagoras, the Greek philosopher, openly taught past life memory and even claimed to remember several of his own incarnations. These ancient cultures were not superstitious, they were aware. Modern science cannot dismiss this entirely either. Thousands of documented cases from researchers like Dr. Ian Stevenson and Dr. Jim Tucker at the University of Virginia describe children who spontaneously recall past lives with shocking accuracy: names, places, languages, even causes of death. Hypnotherapists using past life regression have helped people unlock emotional memories that not only explain lifelong trauma, but heal it. Quantum physics now suggests consciousness may exist beyond the brain. The walls of materialism are beginning to crack. So why are past life memories awakening now, in more souls than ever before? Because humanity is transitioning through a powerful shift in consciousness. More people are questioning reality. More people are rejecting blind conformity. More people are searching for their true purpose. As we awaken individually, the deeper layers of soul truth begin to rise from within. And this is the purpose of recognizing past life memory, not to indulge in fantasy, but to uncover the hidden architecture of your destiny. The lessons you avoid tend to repeat. The people you meet often carry unfinished soul history with you. The patterns in your life, love, betrayal, success, fear, obsession, are not random. They are echoes of previous chapters of your journey. They exist to be completed, integrated, transformed. Once you realize this, suffering becomes context. Pain becomes a message. Experience becomes sacred. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead ask, "What is this trying to teach me across lifetimes?" That shift alone begins to align your life with purpose. Your soul keeps traveling. It keeps learning. It keeps returning here until it awakens fully. And if you are listening to this message, it may be because that awakening has already begun within you. The awakening of past life memory does not unfold in a straight line. It does not politely announce itself or arrive with logical explanation. It enters like a disturbance in perception, quiet at first, then undeniable. It challenges the mind and demands to be acknowledged, and it often begins with a paradox so profound that it creates tension inside the soul, a feeling of knowing without being able to explain how. Something strange happens when these fragments of memory begin to surface. They do not arrive as clear, organized stories. They do not appear as perfect visions of former lives. Instead, they emerge as emotional truths without context, waves of energy that rise from deep inside and collide with the present moment. Before memory reveals itself as information, it appears as feeling. And this is what confuses the logical mind. You might be standing in a room full of strangers and suddenly feel a deep connection with someone you have never met. They speak a single sentence, and you recognize something in their voice. Not familiarity from this life, but recognition that feels ancient. Your rational mind tries to dismiss it, but your intuition holds on to it. Something inside quietly says, "I know you." Yet you cannot explain why. Or you may visit a place you have no history with, an old European street, a Japanese shrine, a forgotten village in the mountains, and a strange sensation overwhelms you. It doesn't feel new. It doesn't feel foreign. Instead, a silent voice whispers, "I have been here before." The smell of the air, the shape of the stone, the way the light falls, everything feels too familiar. The memory is not visual, it is energetic. The soul recognizes long before the brain understands. This creates an inner friction. Logic demands proof. Intuition doesn't need it. The modern world is uncomfortable with what cannot be measured, and so most people silence these experiences. They call them coincidences. They label them imagination. They ignore them because they threaten the structure of reality they were taught to believe. But truth has a way of insisting that it be seen. And when past life memory truly wants your attention, it repeats itself until you can no longer ignore it. Patterns begin to form. The same themes reappear again and again. The same emotions rise in situations that do not justify such intensity. Attraction and resistance grow stronger for reasons you cannot explain. You find yourself drawn to certain cultures, ancient civilizations, spiritual teachings, or historical eras, as if something calls you back. Here lies the paradox. You do not choose past life memories, they choose you. You cannot force them. You cannot summon them like a performance. You cannot command the soul to reveal what it is not yet ready to share. Because the activation of these memories serves a sacred purpose, they return only when the time has come to resolve something unfinished. Past life recall is not curiosity. It is not entertainment. It is not a game of fantasy. It is a mirror. It shows you where your soul is still entangled, where healing is still needed, where purpose is still waiting, where power is still locked away. These memories carry emotion because they carry unresolved energy. The past returns when the soul seeks liberation. This raises an unsettling question. If you cannot trust your physical memory, how can you trust these subtle signals of the soul? How do you distinguish a true past life recall from imagination? How do you know if a feeling is real or simply wishful thinking? There is only one answer: resonance. Resonance is not emotion. It is not fantasy. It is recognition. It is a deep inner knowing that does not need external confirmation. It is the same thing you feel when you speak a profound truth. You don't need anyone to agree with it. You know it, you feel it. It carries weight. When a past life memory surfaces, it arrives with this weight. It does not feel invented. It feels remembered. And once something remembered awakens inside you, it changes you. You begin to question your relationships. You begin to wonder why certain people trigger something emotional in you. Love, anger, fear, grief, without any logical foundation. You begin to question your fears, why you panic around water, or fire, or crowds, or abandonment. You begin to understand why certain dreams return over and over, dreams that feel more like memory than imagination. And you begin to feel that something inside you has been waiting, perhaps for lifetimes, for this exact moment of recognition. This is where the doorway opens. Once curiosity awakens, the journey begins. But to cross this threshold, one must be willing to see beyond the ordinary mind. One must accept that reality is not limited to what can be touched, measured, or proven. Life hides secrets beneath the surface. Time is layered, consciousness is infinite, and your story is far, far longer than one lifetime. The question then is not whether the soul remembers. It does. The real question is, are you ready to know what it remembers? When past life memory begins to awaken inside a person, it does not arrive as a complete story. It emerges slowly, piece by piece, like fragments of a forgotten dream resurfacing from somewhere beyond thought. These fragments are not random. They are signs that the soul is attempting to communicate, to reveal a forgotten truth, to guide life in a more meaningful direction. And while countless subtle hints may appear over time, there are 5 signs that are especially powerful. 5 indications that the soul is remembering a past life. The first sign is the mysterious emotional pull toward certain places, cultures, or historical eras. This is not mere curiosity. It is a magnetic pull that defies logic. A person may feel strangely nostalgic for a land they have never visited, drawn to a city they know nothing about, or deeply moved by a culture whose language they do not speak. When the body reacts with chills, tears, or a strange sense of familiarity while standing before ancient ruins, temples, deserts, oceans, or mountains, it is not simply an emotional reaction. It is resonance. The soul recognizes the land. It remembers rituals once performed there, families once formed, promises once made, and perhaps even a life that ended long ago upon that soil. Sometimes this pull is peaceful and comforting, like a return to a long-lost home. Other times it brings a wave of sadness or heaviness, as if something unresolved remains buried in that land. Whether the emotion is light or heavy, the intensity of it reveals a deep spiritual truth. The soul holds memory beyond birth. The second sign appears through sudden and powerful human connections. These are more than relationships, they are recognitions. 2 people meet and instantly feel a familiarity that has no logical explanation. They may feel as if they have known each other for years, even though they met moments ago. They may feel immediate trust, warmth, or emotional safety. Or in some cases, the reaction is the opposite: unexplainable tension, conflict, or overwhelming emotional intensity. There are people we are pulled to against all reason, and others who trigger emotions that seem too strong for such a new encounter. These are not coincidences. They are encounters with souls from other lifetimes. Some return to bless us again, others return to finish unfinished journeys. These connections may come in the form of soulmates, soul family, karmic partners, or companions of destiny. Even those who cause pain may be part of a soul contract, agreements formed before birth to challenge, awaken, or transform us. Love and conflict alike are often continuations of a much longer story. The third sign is unexplainable ability, knowledge or skill that feels natural without training, as if carried from another existence. Some people are born with a strong affinity for music, art, philosophy, healing, or sacred teachings. Others have a remarkable instinct with certain languages, spiritual practices, or ancient symbols they have never studied. There are children who sit at a piano for the first time and instinctively understand melody. There are adults who pick up a foreign language and feel as though part of them already spoke it. There are people who grasp metaphysics or esoteric wisdom without needing explanation. They simply understand. These abilities are not accidents, nor are they genetic flukes. They are evidence of mastery gained in former lives. The soul does not forget what it has learned. It carries skill as energetic memory, and when the time is right, that memory awakens. The fourth sign is the presence of vivid dreams, recurring visions, or déjà vu that feels more real than ordinary experience. In these moments, a person may dream of specific time periods, historical settings, or emotional scenes involving people with unfamiliar faces that still feel strangely important. These are not like typical dreams. These carry emotional weight and remain in memory for years. A person may wake with tears, with fear, or with a feeling that they just relived something real. Even more mysterious is déjà vu, not as a momentary feeling, but as a wave of recognition so strong it is almost frightening. One may walk into a house they've never entered and know exactly where each room is. One may begin a conversation with a stranger and feel as though they have spoken that sentence before, in that exact place. These flashes come from deep within consciousness, moments where the veil between lives lifts, allowing memory to slip through. The fifth sign is the appearance of recurring emotional patterns or unexplainable fears. These are deep internal struggles that do not begin in this lifetime yet shape behavior and decision-making. For instance, someone who has never experienced abandonment may still carry a powerful fear of being left. Someone who has never drowned may still fear deep water. Someone who has never witnessed violence may still fear loss, betrayal, war, or fire. These are not irrational. They are karmic memories. Energy carried across incarnations until it is healed. This also includes relationship patterns that repeat, choosing the same kind of partner, facing similar heartbreaks, running into the same emotional obstacles again and again. These cycles are not fate. They are unfinished lessons. Karma is not punishment. It is the continuation of experience until understanding is achieved. When a soul faces the same emotional theme repeatedly, it is a signal. The soul is calling for resolution so that evolution can continue. These 5 signs are not coincidences, nor are they fantasies. They are invitations from the deeper self, reminders that your existence did not begin here and will not end here. Past life memories do not surface to confuse you. They do not appear to create drama. They arise to awaken purpose, to heal ancient wounds, and to restore lost wisdom. The universe is not interested in forcing memory upon those who are not ready. But when a soul has reached a point of spiritual maturity, when inner truth is more important than illusion, revelation begins, and the signs no longer whisper, they speak. If you have recognized any of the signs we have just explored, if any of them have stirred something inside you, then you are not alone. You are part of a hidden current of consciousness that has always existed, flowing through lifetimes, cultures, and civilizations. And yet in this life, it is easy to feel isolated. So much of the world encourages us to forget, to ignore, to settle into ordinary routines as if life is nothing more than work, sleep, and passing years. But you, who sense the stirrings of memory, who feel a tug at your heart or a whisper in your soul, you know that life is far more than that. You have always known it. Even if the world cannot validate it, even if those around you cannot see it, your soul remembers. There are moments when it feels like you are carrying invisible weight, experiences, emotions, or intuitions that you cannot explain. Maybe you have loved someone without reason, grieved over something that never happened, or feared something that logically should not frighten you. Perhaps you have been drawn to a culture, a place, or a period of history without ever understanding why. These are not mere coincidences. These are your soul's fingerprints on your consciousness, reminding you that the story of who you are does not begin and end with this body. You are older, deeper, and wiser than you can fully comprehend, and sometimes the world makes that fact uncomfortable, even painful. Think for a moment about the relationships in your life. Perhaps there are people who enter your experience and feel instantly familiar, as if you have met them before lifetimes ago. Or perhaps there are people who bring intensity, conflict, or even inexplicable fear. These connections are not random. They are echoes of unfinished journeys, contracts written in the language of the soul, waiting to be completed. And when you recognize them, you are given the rare opportunity to act consciously, to approach relationships not just with emotion or habit, but with awareness and choice. You can honor the lessons you are meant to learn while breaking cycles that no longer serve your growth. This is intimacy, not merely of the body but of the soul. You may also notice that certain abilities or interests arise inside you as if they have always been part of your being. Perhaps you can learn a language with unusual ease, or you are drawn to music, healing, or esoteric wisdom that seems to resonate without effort. Perhaps you feel a calling toward philosophy, meditation, or spiritual practices that others dismiss as strange. These are not random interests. These are reminders of who you are beyond the boundaries of this life, hints of the power and wisdom you have carried across lifetimes. They are threads, waiting for you to weave them into the tapestry of your current life, to integrate what has already been mastered in subtle ways. And yet, alongside these gifts, there are often fears, wounds, or patterns that feel impossible to explain. Perhaps you find yourself repeating choices that cause pain, experiencing losses that feel eerily familiar, or feeling emotional triggers too intense for the circumstances at hand. These are not punishments, and they are not signs of failure. They are signals from the soul that lessons remain unfinished, that growth is calling, that evolution is possible if you are willing to look closely. Recognizing these patterns is an act of courage. Accepting them is an act of wisdom. Transforming them is an act of soul power. What this chapter asks of you is simple yet profound. See yourself clearly. See your experiences as part of a much larger story that spans time and space. Feel your own depth, acknowledge your own history, and honor the intelligence of your soul. You are not just a human who lives for a few decades. You are consciousness incarnate, older and wiser than your mind often allows itself to believe. You are here not by accident. You are here with purpose, and your purpose can only unfold when you acknowledge the echoes of all that has come before. If you feel the stirrings of memory, if your heart has recognized a truth that your mind cannot yet explain, then take a moment to honor it. Let it wash over you. Feel it. Sit with it. Your life is richer, more layered, and infinitely more meaningful than the linear story you were taught to believe. Your soul remembers, and in that remembrance lies power. Power to heal, power to love, power to choose differently, power to awaken. You are not alone. You are not mistaken. You are not lost. You are part of a continuum of existence that stretches back through time, and every sign, every feeling, every pull toward the unknown is a reminder that your journey is far greater than the one you see on the surface. The world may not understand it, others may doubt it, and sometimes even your own mind may resist it, but your soul does not lie. It whispers, it pulls, it reminds, and it asks you to remember yourself fully. Your soul has been trying to reach you all along through subtle nudges, emotional echoes, and moments of inexplicable resonance. Now the signs are clear. The memories, the déjà vu, the recurring patterns, the pull toward people, places, and abilities you cannot explain. These are not coincidences. They are invitations, not just to remember, but to awaken. To awaken fully to who you are, beyond the constraints of the physical body, beyond the limitations of linear time, beyond the stories you have been told about what is possible in life. Awakening begins with attention. It begins with presence. It begins when you stop treating your emotions, your memories, your intuition, and your unexplained experiences as accidents or mistakes. Begin instead to see them as messages, as sacred clues left by your own consciousness. The experiences that once seemed confusing, frustrating, or painful are actually doorways. Every recurring dream, every unexplainable attraction or fear, every intense connection with another soul is a signal that your inner self is calling you to remember your true nature. This awakening is not dramatic. It does not require grand gestures or extreme rituals. It is subtle, intimate, and profoundly internal. You do not awaken by running towards something outside yourself. You awaken by turning inward, by observing the signals, by asking the right questions. What is this feeling trying to teach me? What is this memory trying to reveal? Who am I beneath the identity I have carried in this life? These are not questions to be answered with logic alone. They are questions to be explored through reflection, intuition, and deep listening to the quiet voice of the soul. As you begin this journey, you will notice a shift in perception. Life will no longer feel like a series of random events. You will start to see patterns, lessons, and connections that were invisible before. Relationships will take on deeper meaning. Places and experiences will resonate in ways that cannot be explained. Even challenges and obstacles will begin to feel purposeful. This is the beginning of conscious evolution, the realization that your life is not happening to you but for you, and that you are not simply living one story, but continuing a journey that spans lifetimes. Part of awakening also involves reclaiming your power. The memories of past lives, the echoes of ancient wisdom, the lessons carried across incarnations, they are not here to make you passive or fearful. They exist to remind you of your agency. You have the power to break cycles, to heal karmic patterns, to cultivate the gifts you were born with, and to consciously shape the trajectory of your soul. Awakening asks you to embrace this responsibility with courage, humility, and gratitude. It asks you to walk in awareness, to honor the depth of your existence, and to allow your soul's intelligence to guide you. And finally, awakening requires surrender. Not surrender to limitations, but surrender to the truth of who you are. Surrender to the flow of consciousness, to the movement of energy across time, to the messages your soul has been sending you for lifetimes. In this surrender, clarity emerges. In this surrender, peace emerges. In this surrender, the hidden knowledge that has been whispering beneath the surface of your life begins to reveal itself fully. You are being called to step into a new state of awareness, one where your soul's memory is no longer fragmented, no longer hidden, no longer silent. You are being called to recognize the continuity of your consciousness, to honor the wisdom you have carried across time, and to awaken to your purpose with intention, courage, and love. This is the path of true freedom, the realization that your life is not accidental, your experiences are not random, and your soul has been preparing for this awakening far longer than you can imagine. And as you answer this call, something miraculous happens. You begin to feel whole. The fragments of memory, the echoes of past lives, the lessons carried across time, they begin to integrate. Your past, your present, and even your future begin to align. You start to move through the world with clarity, power, and understanding, recognizing the invisible threads that connect you to everything and everyone. This is the gift of awakening, the secret truth hidden in plain sight. You are not only living this life, you are remembering the vastness of your soul, and in that remembrance you find freedom, purpose, and profound beauty. Your life is far greater than the moments you experience consciously. What you see, what you feel, what you think, it is only a fraction of your existence. Beyond this body, beyond this mind, beyond the linear path of days and years, your soul moves in rhythms that transcend comprehension. It carries the echoes of lives lived long before this one, whispers of experiences that shape the essence of who you are, long before the first breath you remember taking. And now, those whispers are speaking louder, calling your attention to the truth that has never left you. As you reflect on the signs, the memories, the patterns, the uncanny connections, you begin to realize something profound. Your story is not isolated. Your story is part of a continuum, a vast tapestry of consciousness that spans generations, eras, and civilizations. Each life you have lived, every lesson carried forward, every bond formed, and every wound endured, all of it contributes to the depth of your soul in this very moment. The life you inhabit now is not merely yours. It is the result of countless journeys, countless choices, countless awakenings. You are ancient, timeless, and infinitely expansive. And here you are, in this moment, with this body, this mind, and this life. The paradox of existence becomes clear. You are both the ancient traveler and the newborn consciousness, both the remembered and the present, both the student and the teacher. What was once hidden now surfaces, and what was once fragmented begins to integrate. Your soul remembers, and in that remembrance, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Life is no longer just an unfolding series of events. It is a ritual, a dance, a mystery that invites you to participate consciously, to honor the threads of time that have brought you to this exact point, to engage with the world not as a passive witness, but as a fully awakened presence. The memories of the past, the lessons of other lives, the subtle wisdom that rises in quiet moments, they are not burdens. They are gifts. They are the keys to your understanding, the map to your evolution, the proof that consciousness is eternal. And when you allow yourself to see this, to feel this, to integrate this truth, something shifts. The small anxieties, the fleeting fears, the unanswerable questions, they begin to lose their weight. You begin to stand in the world with a calm certainty that transcends circumstance. You recognize the hidden connections between yourself and others, between your life and the universe, between your soul and the infinite. You understand that nothing is wasted, nothing is accidental, and everything matters. This is the return of the soul. Not as a concept, not as an idea, but as an undeniable reality. The fragmented pieces of memory, the whispers of the past, the echoes of eternity, they are now part of your awareness. You carry them, not as shadows of what was lost, but as luminous reminders of what you have always been. Eternal consciousness, ever evolving, endlessly profound. And as you move forward, you do so with the knowledge that you are not alone, that you are part of a vast continuum, and that the journey of the soul is far greater than the journey of the body. So let this awareness settle within you. Let it breathe in your bones, awaken in your heart, and resonate through your consciousness. You are remembering not just this life, but the soul that has always existed, that has always known, that has always sought truth. And in this remembrance, there is freedom. In this remembrance, there is power. In this remembrance, there is infinite possibility. The soul has spoken, and now it is time for you to live fully, consciously, and magnificently in the light of its truth. You are ancient, you are eternal, and your story, across lifetimes and beyond, is still unfolding.